It is the last edition in this week of July, and of course we are now moving on to the main interview of the program, New Dawn or to Ojo. My name is Tushutake. Our two guests are already in the house as we take a look at an important topic talking about securing the environment for economic gains. People engage in a series of businesses here and there, and of course, so they need the enabling environment to allow their businesses thrive and make the necessary inputs they can make and contribute to the gross domestic product of the country, as it were, and so on and so forth. So to my immediate right is a guest from the government circle. He is the Senior Special Assistant to Ogun State Governor on Energy, Mr. FEMI OMISANJO. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you. Good morning. And
from the private sector, we have a man also from Abeokuta Chamber of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture, talking of Alhaji ABDURRAHMAN, MAKU. You're welcome to the program.
Good morning. Thank you very much for having me.
And my colleagues that will be calling this together is Charity James.
Good morning, Tunde. You're welcome.
Morning.
Let me welcome you to the program too.
Okay. Thank you very much.
All right.
Okay. All right. Before we go into the nitty-gritty of what we have on the table this Friday, let's quickly take this short break as we serve you a report that is a precursor to our discussion today on the program. So after that, we'll then move on to the nitty-gritty of what we have for you on the menu. We'll be right back. As the seat of Ogun State government, coming through the Abeokuta-Shagamu interchange dualized road, motorists can yield yourself relief with better illumination through the solar street lights adorning Okemoso NNPC Junction corridor, not leaving out the flyover. Call it Light Up Ogun. This move, no doubt, will further guarantee a more safe haven for motoring and make businesses to thrive. It is not market day at Kuto here, but one thing is sure, that many of these traders are still outside up to this time. Not because they want to tarry outside to this time, but because of the solar street light that government has provided to illuminate the environment, and that is why majority of them are still outside, extending the hours of their selling activities beyond the regular times.
Energy is the lifeblood of any economy, and without energy, the economy cannot flow. And part of this is one form of energy that can encourage people to stay longer hours. Even I can encourage people that close late to even come over and come and buy things, because they know that these marketers will still be here at any time of the day.
Just as motorists are beginning to enjoy the Okemoso NNPC Junction Road corridor, the popular Kuto Market Road has equally been lit up, a major boost for commercial activities.
Iná yẹn inú wa dùn gan gbà tari torí ìdí ni pé tẹ́lẹ̀ gbogbo ìwà máa dúdú ni kódà á tiẹ̀ ti lọlé gan bọ̀ nítorí pé iná ìṣe wà ń sìn inú wa dùn a kì í tètè lọlé a máa jókòó a lè dago 9 a lè dago 10 síbí.
Ìyọ́sẹ̀ wa bá a ṣe iná yìí inú wa lè dùn púpọ̀ púpọ̀ cause iná yìí náà ó keep àwọn èèyàn náà busy, especially pé ó keep wa busy láti lè ṣọ́ra ajé ń bíbá. The Solar Street Light initiative is also extended to Kuto Park, giving transporters and commuters confidence to engage in night travel.
Boost it a lot, because if the place is not safe, or if it is darkened, you know, people will not like to come to garage where it's darkened, where there is no light, where there is no toilet, where there is no good roads.
Driving at night on major road corridors within Abeokuta metropolis has now been made easy, while making the state unsafe for criminals.
It serves a dual purpose. Apart from the fact that people are here buying and selling, increasing the economic activity within the state, is a form of security also, because you can see what happens. If anything happens, it's easy to easily identify people and a lot of things. And also, when you just go on the bridge and see, look at the aesthetics at night, it gives a wonderful view to the state.
The roving camera of this news crew caught up with the State Public Works Agency. Recently, Governor Dapo Abiodun applauded officers and men of the Nigeria Police, Ogun State Command, for their gallantry and professionalism in tackling crimes. This may not be connected with the regular support given the police and other security agencies in the state, while the latest solar street light initiative will further aid their statutory responsibility.
Sólà mi tí mo rà tí mo ń gbé wá láti ìgbà tó ti ṣe náà mi ò gbé sólà wà mọ́, iná yìí ni mo dẹ̀ ń lò.
Tí wàá rí kòtò lákan sí tó bá fẹ́ jáde sí màá tètè ríran fúlà tí lè máa ríran àti rí kòtò iná yẹn náà jẹ́ kí mi náà ríran díẹ̀.
ẹ ló ti sọ lódodo iná tó ṣe ó ẹ̀pẹ́ anybody bẹ́ẹ̀ ti ìrànlọ́wọ́ lèèyàn need.
As provision of basic social amenities of life is being stepped up, residents advised to take ownership of the various projects in their respective domains by protecting them against destruction. Tune. Well, that's the report to just whet your appetite ahead of what we are going to be discussing on the main interview segment of the program. So before Charity comes in, let me start with Mr. FEMI. Yeah, what gave you the impetus? What gave you the impetus to say, okay, we need to do this in Ogun State, knowing fully well that Nigeria is facing a serious challenge of not having a regular public power supply, and this is solar light. So how did you come about that?
Thank you very much. I want to say good morning to all the viewers in the house. And one wonderful thing I want to appreciate the government of Prince Abeokuta for is he has a vision, he has a plan, and he has a strategy for the state. And I want you to understand that we as a state have what we call a state development plan, and it's called the Shaya Mantra, which looks at infrastructure, social well-being, education, youth empowerment, and also we look at access to agriculture and every other thing. And one major strata of that is called infrastructure. And thank you. Really appreciate the fact that the member of the Chamber of Commerce for Ogun State is here, and we understand that Ogun State is the lifeblood of the Nigerian economy in terms of industrial base. And when we talk about industrial base, you understand what industry does in an economy. And Ogun State being the central, being where most of all industries in the country, about 65 or about 70% of the industries in the country are located in Ogun State. And looking at that, it shows that the state has an opportunity to drive the economy of the country. And that was what gave birth to our development plan. It is a 2021 to 2024 development plan. And it looks at making the state open to investment, and also ensuring that we have all the enabling infrastructures that can help drive.
Okay, Mr. Minister, sorry, we will need to go on this quick break. When we return, you will land on your top before we move to the next question we are going to ask you people on the interview segment. So we'll be right back after this break.
We are thrilled to have you on board as we chart the course for our next chapter. We're inviting you to take up your rights in full for 19 naira 75 kobo per share. From the 8th of July to 14th of August, take advantage of the chance to acquire one more ordinary share for every 2 shares in your portfolio. Visit www.theaccesscorporation.com to subscribe. Access Holdings, where financial solutions connect the world.
All right, you're welcome back from that commercial break. So, Mr. Omisanjo, we were talking about providing infrastructure that can galvanize business activities.
Yeah, so thank you. As I was saying, infrastructure remains the laying foundation, is the foundation for the development of any economy. And we understand that apart from having roads, having every other thing, energy is what drives most of it. Because when you go to your house, you need light. When you go to the hospital, you need light. Even when you go to school now, looking at the way the world is going, you need light. So energy is that lifeblood that everybody needs. And it was one of our core mantra in the Sharia development plan to say that, yes, the state needs enough energy to be able to power our industry. The state needs enough energy for our health centers. We need enough energy for everything we need. And also we need energy for security. So one core part of it is when it comes to security, securing lives, securing properties, and ensuring that there's what we call nightlife economy. Night economy is another thing that can drive economic growth, that can drive our GDP in the state. And that is where we felt that it is important that we are able to lift up all the states. So it's a major plan of the government, and we are just trying to implement it just as we have had in our development plan.
All right, Alhaji Bako, you are in the business circle. That's where you organize private sector, and so all you think about every day is business, business, business. How do we maximize the environment so that we can have economic gains from whatever business we are pushing to the members of the public? So can you also lay credence or also buttress the fact that energy is key, as we have seen in that report, that with that it can drive the economy? You can hear from that woman there that the sunrise is still till about 10 p.m. before winding down the activities for the day.
Well, thank you very much, and I want to appreciate you for having me in the studio this morning. I just want to paint a quick scenario. Let's imagine that in Nigeria today, a liter of PMS, that's petrol, is sold at maybe 200 naira. And the tariff for electricity is something that is within reach of common people. And there is, of course, there's light. I want to tell you that the kind of noise, the hues and cries that we are having in the country today wouldn't have been, because of the fact that this is what people depend on largely to ensure a good living standard for themselves. Having said that, energy is very key. There's no business that will thrive without having this. Take for instance, somebody who's just a roadside maybe barber, who will need light to run his business. When it's not having what it requires, of course there will be issues, having to depend on generators and what have you. But moving away from that, we see what the present government in Ogun State has tried to do in terms of taking care of that very critical aspect of human life, that is power and energy. For me, it is quite commendable. This is one of the things that we expect the government to do. People generally are not expecting much from the government. All they need is the conducive environment for them to operate their business, especially the MSMEs operators that we have around. And incidentally, this sector is the driver of the economy anywhere in the world. We're having a light all over the place. Although I'm not that nocturnal, so I've not gone until I'm seeing it here now. But maybe occasionally, I think a week ago, we traveled to Lagos. On our way back, it was around 7:38, and we're passing through the Okemoson overhead bridge, and I saw light. I said, "Wow, this is wonderful." And not knowing that it has even gone beyond that place, we are thinking that maybe it's just that's the entry point
to the seat of government.
So we want to think that it's part of what will make people get attracted to the state. But beyond that, we see that we're having this power supply to almost all the nooks and crannies in the state now. In Abeokuta, for instance, I'm surprised when I saw that Abeokuta market at night. That brought a reminiscence of what we experienced when we went on Hajj that year, because it's economic activity all time round.
The economy does not go to bed.
It doesn't. You have to see them. In fact, they are more active at night. They're very active at night. In the days, because of the harsh weather condition, you will not see them. But at night, you see them moving up and down, people bustling with business activities, and it's until you may not even know till the day break, you will see people moving up and down, and basically because of the fact that they are operating under the cover of a well-illuminated street. But as it is, I think what is critical, this is commendable, like I said, is sustainability. It's very key. Because having this now and not having it later, we will have made mess of whatever effort the government has put in place.
MAKU, this is solar.
Yeah.
It is solar street light.
Yeah.
So it does not depend on generator, so wherein you can give excuse of not having money to buy diesel to power the generator. So, but the only appeal here is that for our people not to vandalize this.
I'm still coming to that. I'm talking about sustainability. That's why I said beyond the present government, what would the successive government do in terms of maintaining what we have presently on ground? Okay. Because if the government doesn't play its own role in terms of ensuring that these things are protected, it will make it easy for people to begin to vandalize, given the mentality of our people in this part of the world. We don't always subscribe to good things, and when you see that, you still want to see how can I move around it and also make some bring some towards as a benefit out of it, which of course will have affected other people who are benefiting from it now. So talking about sustainability is very key. So we can only urge the government to put, as they have put this in place now, let there be plans to ensure that this thing is enduring. Yes, it's enduring. So that at the end of the day we will not have something, okay, in the past we will not be referring to, in time past, we used to have street light, solar power street light all around Abeokuta, but today we are not having them. It's very key. As we are talking about security architecture, energy being part of it now, we should also be talking about the sustainability, so that we can ensure that this has stayed much longer than the present government that did it.
Okay, Mr. OMISANJO, let me still draw with you. Okay. When we're talking about the environment, energy is not only the component of the environment. What is your government doing to ensure that while protecting the environment, we can achieve economic growth as well? Because we can't only focus on energy and neglect other parts of the environment component.
Yeah, okay. Let me play a little bit back and try to bring you up to speed on why the world is now going. You've been hearing about climate change. You've been hearing about environmental sustainability and a lot of things. We've heard about these sustainable development goals. We have heard about what especially the government is doing in terms of, you heard about the Paris Agreement that Nigeria signed. And these are one of the areas we felt as a government, even as a country and as a state, to be able to ensure that we have a more sustainable environment going forward. And initially, you notice that most of our street lights are powered by diesels, and one of the problems with diesel is it is called a form of energy that pollutes the environment. The form just keeps going up and it's very expensive. So one way of protecting the environment is to ensure that we reduce carbon emission, which is the use of diesel, which is the use of petrol, going to more cleaner form of energy like gas, and also we can go solar. Now, the solar street light that we are going, it gives us the advantage. We are able to meet our environmental protected goals, which is ensuring that we protect the environment. At the other time also, we are reducing our carbon footprint, carbon emission, ensuring that government is able to meet up with all the goals that government has signed in the Paris Agreement. So even when you go across the country, when you go across the world now, you will see a lot of agreements, you see a lot of energy efficient systems. And those are the systems that we are trying to put in place as a government. And that is one of the big reasons why we felt that it is better to retrofit all our old solar, all our street lights are powered using diesel, but now it has gone to using solar systems. So it's one way of us trying to protect the environment, reducing carbon footprint, and ensuring that government is able to align with most of these agreements that we have signed over
Okay.
time.
Do you think about the security also? Because you can't have a street light working perfectly, and those who want to come into the market to come for some activities will also be there, the other activity. What is your measure to ensure that while those who are there for genuine reasons at night are there, those who are there for ingenuine reasons too will be there? What are you doing to arrest the ingenuine reasons?
Yeah, so when it comes to trying to address the people that are there for other things, and you know, most times we say security starts from us actually, because security is not just the job of the police. It's not just the job of the civil defense or anybody. The security starts with us individuals. And you know, as a community, then we used to say as a community, everybody in the community is called the local community, so everybody understands who. And if a new person comes into a community, there is no how that you know that, oh, this person is not from here. So yes, there's illumination. Yes, we are trying to help even the security agencies to be able to identify and see what is happening there. But it's also important as individuals, as stakeholders, to be able to understand that security is not the job of the government. Security is the job of everybody. And one way we have done that, we are, as part of things we need to do, we are trying to engage. So engagement is our key. Stakeholder engagement is one of the most important things we are trying to do, as regards even extending most of what we are doing now to all the nook and cranny of the states. We've tried to set up meetings with the ballers, we've tried to set up meetings with the uppers of communities, tried to set up meetings with market leaders, with unions and every other thing, because we know that it is very important. Security cannot be left just for the government, and it cannot be left for the police. It's a job, it's our job, it's everybody. It's, as they say in Lagos or in everybody must be, all hands must be on deck. And that is one of the things. Stakeholder engagement is one of the things that we take as a key responsibility, and that is what we want to.
Okay, MAKU, let's look at the impact all of this nightlife business trade activities will give to the state and beyond. What do you think will be the impact on the economy? Because we are looking at the economy, how the economy of Ogun State especially will grow and grow, so that the government can have the revenues coming in invariably. So let's talk about the impact all of these activities will have on, especially for those who come from the private sector.
Okay, well, I think it's going to impact the economy very well. We have to looking at it from the perspective of individual economy. Of course, the business of individuals too will be enhanced. And for instance, we are taking, maybe your trading is between the hours of 8 a.m. in the morning to 6 p.m. in the evening. Now you have a stretch of time to go beyond that time. So, and of course that will improve your income. And of course, by so doing, people willingly want to also oblige the government what the government is entitled to in terms of payment of taxes and levies and other rates. So, and we want to look at it holistically. The state will be better for it, because it shows that there will be more income coming into the coffers of the state government for them to be able to do some other things that will be beneficial to the people at large.
Okay. Yeah. And that also means that this will be a kind of incentive that will attract more investment to the state on a larger scale now. But my question would not be that, Alhaji MAKU, you have just hit the nail on the head, that if you are shutting down your activities by 6 p.m., but you have that leverage now that you can close by 9 or 10, so we're having about 3-4 hours of extension. Will that not amount to government now looking at increasing the tax payable by these people? You are making more income now to grow the economy of the state, and for government to also plow back into society and do more for the people. So possibly a new tax regime will be in the pipeline.
Even if that is going to be, that shouldn't be in the immediate. The government is just starting, and people are just seeing what the government is doing for them. Somewhere else, there's what they call a tax holiday for businesses. Well, I'm not talking about tax holiday now because we are not talking about startups. This is a package that people are just benefiting from. So the government, I'm appealing now, I'm appealing to the government to tarry a bit so that people can have enough time and benefit more from this digester from the government. So it's a government responsibility. But nevertheless, there's no need for them to rush into now begin to demand taxes and levies from them. So that people will not be discouraged at the end of the day. So is it because of the fact that they want to they want to collect taxes from others? It don't appear as if they've been baited to have something from the people. That shouldn't be in the immediate. We will not discourage people from paying taxes, but let them also have enough time to have these to benefit and to have at least have attracted some level of gains to themselves before the government will come up with taxes and other levies.
Let me just chip in and say that the role of the government is to create an enabling environment. The role of the government is not to tax you, not to kill anybody. The role of the government is to ensure that we have enough leverage, we are able to grow at the state. You know, it is very, you notice that at the current period that we are, the current realities means that in the country shows that we need to be able to create enough buffer and enough opportunities for people. We have a lot, our unemployment rate is so high, and we can't tax our way out of unemployment. We have to create opportunities, we have to open up opportunities, and this is what we are trying to do as a government. Creating opportunities, opening up avenues, opening up ways that people can be able to, at least in a way, have a little buffer, have something in the pocket, such that even after you have, we can still have at least a little to the government and say, okay, this is your tax. We are not trying to encourage tax evasion, but we want to ensure that people are willing, they earn enough money to be able to give out as tax to the government. Yeah.
Well, we just hope that government will not tie all these. We have said it, and that is the way it should go.
We've taken his word for
speaking on behalf of the government.
Because why I have to push out that question, because just less than 24 hours ago, the federal government has agreed that 70,000 should be the minimum wage. We know a lot of states, IGR is not something that is encouraging. So they want to extend their tax dragnet and get more people on board, get more money, so that they can also fulfill their own part of that issue. But that is not the main concern. But with this, do you see Ogun State economy having that kind of what I would call geometric development in a very short time from now?
Okay, thank you. I feel that even this solar power street lights is just one of the bigger plans that we have in terms of energy development in Ogun State. We, as a state, we have started working on what we call our Ogun State energy policy and energy law, which, you know, when the government of President Muhammadu Buhari in 2023 signed the amendment to the Constitution, and our current President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, gave assent to the Electricity Act in 2023 June. It allows states, it gives us the leverage for us to be able to regulate what happens in terms of generating, transmitting, and distributing electricity within our states. And the state has taken up that opportunity. We've been engaging with a lot of stakeholders, and also we've come out, we have a draft of our law that we are trying to work on and send to the State of House of Assembly, that once it becomes law, Ogun State itself will be able to regulate anything that has to do with electricity and energy within the state. That is a bigger plan. That has a bigger opportunity for the state, because we will be able to provide more electricity even to the citizens and to the industries across. And I want you to understand that it is easy, because when we are able to provide it, see, currently the national grid, I think they say a band-aid customer pays about 209 naira per kilowatt hour. And that is a discouraging factor to a lot of industries, because it's here now, and it can say what they face in terms of trying to pay for electricity is not reliable. Also, you have to buy diesel, you have to maintain your generator and all those things. Those are one of those things that discourage industries. Those are one of those things that create unemployment. Those are one of the reasons why we are not growing as a state and as a country. But for us to be able to do that, we must be able to create a platform where our wide industries across the states, SMEs most especially, have reliable and affordable electricity. And that is one of the big things that the government is working on in terms of our law and our policy. So the solar street light is just like 5 out of 100 of what the government has in terms of infrastructural development and in terms of energy development in the state. So we can tell you to watch out for it. We are working on it, and just need you to go through the proper processes, and you will see that I can promise you, His Excellency on January 1st says that by 2025 we want to ensure that Ogun State have 24/7 reliable electricity, and we are working on that, and I can assure you that that is what the government has in stock, not just trying to tax people out. We are trying to create an environment, we are trying to create a viable working environment for the citizens of the state. We want to create opportunities. We want to be able to tap into our opportunities that is available. We are close to the airport, we are close to the sea line.
We even have an airport in Ogun State.
Yes, and yes, our cargo airport is also one of our big selling points in the state, and we have the train passing through. Now the federal government said is trying to extend the train to Kano, everything passed through. So it's a wonderful opportunity for us, and we as a government are not sitting down and just trying to look at how we can task people. We are trying to make sure that everybody in Ogun State has opportunities and you can tap on that opportunity.
Okay, let's look at it from the private sector angle now. Alhaji MAKU, do you think all of these government policies on environment is enough to protect it? One. Then the second aspect of it is that, is it enough to grow the economy that we want in Nigeria? Looking at what he has said about energy, looking at what he has said about the environment, as a private man, as a private businessman, do you think it is enough for people who operate in your sector?
Yes, I think on paper, they are fantastic ideas, but the most important thing for those policies to be seen through in order to achieve the purpose for which they are set. One thing is to have the design, other things for implementation, the action on the side of the government, to ensure that all these things are put in place and people benefit from it. Because one of the major problems that is bedeviling Nigeria as a nation is this inconsistency in policy implementation. We have good, fantastic policies, but implementing them the proper way is where the areas we are still having issues now, up to now, from federal to other levels of the government. I think if we have them on paper and bit by bit, they are taking them one after the other, implementing, we are seeing the impact. For instance, we are talking about electricity, power, energy as it were. Now, you can see what the government has been able to do in terms of providing energy for people at night. Let's also talk about road infrastructure. By the time we begin to see construction and reconstruction of damaged roads, and work is ongoing every now and then, people will be happy because they know at the end of the day, they are the one that will benefit from all this.
So paper implementation shouldn't be?
Yes, shouldn't be. It's not enough for us to have it on papers, and at the end of the day, people are not saying anything.
Well, I think this is a government that is working its talk. We have seen it a couple of times, and we believe that even with less than 3 years to go now, some of these will still come to friction. But the question now is, Alhaji MAKU, beyond energy provision and road infrastructure, just a few hours ago, the State Electricity Council in Ogun State approved additional 5 roads to be constructed, while efforts are ongoing on some roads across the 3 senatorial districts. What are those other variables that you think government needs to also direct their attention to, so that they can make the environment more conducive for businesses to thrive? We saw them at night there, passengers still boarding vehicles going to Lagos, at Kuto Park. But beyond that, what are those other variables that they must put in place to encourage, attract more investment, and also sustainability, sustain those ones that are currently the business within the state?
I think a very clean environment is very germane. Look at all the variables talking about securing, having a secure and sustainable environment. Recently, we are facing the outbreak of cholera. When that news came out, I was wondering how would that be this century. In those days, we used to hear of cholera was maybe around 80s. Now, having it around again is something that's quite worrisome. And I believe governments will be doing it, but people too, they have serious obligation when it comes to ensuring that we have a good environment. It's unimaginable that you still see people packing their deaths, putting it on the media, all around the city. Although they're thinking that they are putting it there for those who can come and carry it, but that shouldn't be. There should be proper way to manage this waste, so that it wouldn't have caused havoc before people who are supposed to take them off come around. So people also have very serious obligation when it comes to this. We're talking about the solar power now, and I remember the other time you wanted to ask me how do we protect them. It's very key. The government will play its own role. Why, as people, responsible citizens, we also have obligation in that direction. We shouldn't leave everything to the government to do. So coming back to the issue of a clean environment is what everybody should rise up to as a matter of responsibility. We shouldn't be one-sided, at leaving it to the government alone. I think waste management is very key when it comes to having a very good environment to operate in.
Okay, Mr. OMISANJO, you did mention that 2025 is a target for this administration to ensure that if not all cities in Ogun State have access to electricity, constant electricity supply, at least we can have an appreciable number, so that when another government comes in, possibly they will scale it up from there, and we begin to talk of a more economically viable Ogun State that will be attractive enough even for foreign investment. But I want you to let us open up your books. Let's know what are the other areas that you want at this solar-powered street light to be. Which areas are you also considering for it? Is it going to be limited to Abeokuta being the seat of power, or you are also going to extend it beyond? If you are extending it beyond, though it has not gone around the entire Abeokuta city as well too. So let us know the program of activities that you have for that.
I want to be, so Abeokuta is the seat of power, but Abeokuta is not the whole of Ogun State.
Sure.
At least Abeokuta is a part of Ogun Central, if I'm right. So we still have Ogun East, we have Ogun West, and we have a lot of towns, cities, and villages across. And what we did there, this solar street light that we have in Abeokuta, on May 29th, His Excellency commissioned a road, the Peru, the Peru road that links Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. If you don't want to pass through, you can just pass through that place and go through Shagamu. So that place too, we have already provided the solar street light along that route. So that one was part of the route. That new reconstructed road was, the solar street light is along that route. So the plan was to be able to cut across the three senatorial districts. As much as we are planning for Abeokuta, we also have plans in Ijebu-Ode, we have plans in Shagamu, we have plans in Songota, we have plans in Ilaru, we have plans in Owode. So we are not just limited to Abeokuta, but most times when we want to do some things, there's something we call, you have to do a proof of concept. You have to be able to understand what are the necessary things that you need to put in place, because most times when even the solar street light that we are trying to do also, we have to be able to understand the effect and the impact, and you have to look at because it's solar, so you have to look at the radiance and every other thing to be able to see whether even this solar light, when you put it down there, it can have enough energy for it to be powered all through the night. There are some, once you get a small charge, once it comes out by 7 o'clock, maybe by 1 o'clock, is out, and that is not actually the plan. The plan is for it to run through all the nights to be able to. So what we are just doing here is just we are putting in a proof of concept to be able to understand, so that when we extend it to the other part of the state, it will be a seamless process. So we have across all these zones within Ogun State, and we are trying to put it across, you know, Ogun State is not just Abeokuta, just I've said. So
but within Abeokuta, which other areas are you looking at for now?
Every major highway and major roads in Abeokuta, it's what we are planning for. Our plan is to make sure that every major road in the state, every road in the state is properly looted. Yeah, but you know, most times this has to do with massive investment, and so you have to be able to be sure of what you need to do, and you have to plan properly. So the one we are doing now is we are trying to retrofit all the ones. So what we are doing now, we are trying to retrofit. So the areas where we had the old light before, we are just trying to retrofit it into solar light before we now start putting into areas where we not add solar street light or any form of lighting over time.
Okay, Ogun State has a larger chunk of industry in Nigeria, and we boast of that every time. Now, one thing that is one of the problematic challenge for them is electricity. Are you taking this solar crusade to the industries that we have in Ogun State, so that we can have more of them in that concentrated area, so that the economic we're talking about can grow, and people can come into Ogun State in their masses to do business with us?
As regards industry, you know, another advantage that Ogun State has is that the gas pipeline that comes all the way from the south down to the West Africa gas line, everything passed through the state. So we have, and another clean form of energy is gas. Gas is what we say we are in a decade of gas, and decade of gas means that gas is the power that can help us industrialize as fast as possible. So Ogun State is so blessed that for industries, we believe that the fastest way to power industry is to use gas. And we have that in terms of the network connectivity in the state. We have it all across. Even there's a gas pipeline that passes through Abeokuta. Even our current, the state secretariat is on an independent power project, and we use gas to power that in the state. So it's for industries to grow. Yes, we might take the solar there to serve as a buffer or to help them in terms of grid stability, but we feel we have a bigger plan for the industries in the state, and we are looking at powering our industry using gas, while for our small and medium scales we deploy solar, a lot of solar solutions for our small and medium scale. Even our, you notice most of our power centers now, most of them, when you look at the roof, there are solar panels on them. So there are opportunities for us for small, medium scale enterprises, barbers, and there are a lot of solutions that have been designed. Even to make it even very interesting, we know, I don't know, maybe you've noticed that there was a time we did our e-mobility. Our e-mobility is on two parts, our CNG buses, and we have our e-bikes, that is electric bikes. Electric bikes they don't run on diesel, they don't run on petrol, they run on power. So there are a lot of things. Just as I've said, we have a lot in stock for the state, and it's just properly put it in proper context and put it in proper structure, and that is what the state is currently doing.
Okay, Engineer MAKU, let's look at how your members from ABEOCCIMA can tap, or from OGUN now, can tap from all of these policies that the government is putting out on environment, energy, and all that. What do you think you want them to do further? Aside what he has said, what do you think your members will be needing from the government to grow the economy?
I think, Benjole, you're talking about industrialization and providing the needed infrastructure. So some of the industrial parks that we have in the state presently, incidentally, the Abeokuta Sango water axis seems to have been abandoned. And I remember that some years back, Abeokuta Chamber of Commerce, then that was during the OMISANJO's regime, we made a representation to the president then to have this stationing of gas metering station at Onijogojo, and lo and behold, Obasanjo responded to our call, and that's what brought that, what we're having there, the Nigerian Gas Company metering station at Onijogojo there. But unfortunately, we are not having so many industries being driven to that side of the town. What we have now is that the concession is on Shagamu Expressway. So we want to appeal to the government to look in that direction again. It's very important. They've sunk millions of dollars into that project, and it is there not serving the post. I remember part of what the NNPC official told us was that it's not as if that project was viable for Abeokuta then, but because of the fact that Mr. President has interest for the development, the interest is development of industries in Abeokuta, and of course by extension Ogun State. But what are you having? Yes, we see the initial energy that we just referred to was started there, and some few industries that are there that are using the gas from that end. But we're not having much, we're not having enough of industry in that area. The concentration should, as it is going towards this side, let it also be coming to that side, because we're having millions of dollars being sunk into that project. So that's our appeal to the government, and at our level too, we are doing all we could to ensure that we create that awareness and mobilization for industry prospective investors in the state that come through through us to direct them to that side. But that's where you can, of course, do your business without issue. But one of the things that I also feel is discouraging them because of the issue we have with the road. Yeah. That you know that place is almost become impassable now. So I think it's a federal government road, but nothing stops the government from intervening. Because, like we used to say, all of those the roads in Ogun State are for Ogun State indigenes. So it shouldn't be limited to, it's a federal government project, so we should leave it for the federal government to do. So that's our appeal. So I think that the thought should also be directed to that side. So
let me as an addendum to what he said. He said something about sustainability. The project was started from President Obasanjo's era. Now, to some extent, it has stopped. Let me put it that way, paused, because a lot of people are not using it to the maximum level that is supposed to be used. What will your government do now, since you are having these laudable projects, to sustain it even after your government? Because if you leave and those things are not working, people will come back and say it was done in your era, but at this time it is not working. What are you going to do to ensure that it is sustainable even after this tenure?
Okay, thank you. I think I need to correct a misconception that says that that station is there, and currently we have a plan to put about a 30 megawatt plant there, which they've started clearing that part for. And you also need to understand that most times for industries to come to a place, there's something we call economies of scale. Economies of scale most times help you reduce your cost, your overall cost over the time. And when you look at that around that axis, you, apart from when you go all the way down, you hardly see industries there. It's not that government does not want industries to be there, but most times people look at the opportunities, and most times the opportunities has to do with that. Where's access to road, access to raw materials, access to resources, access to electricity, access to infrastructure. Yes, there's gas there, but what other infrastructure will be required? And I know for sure in our economic development plan, there's an economic development cluster in Abeokuta, and I feel that that area is one of the areas the government is looking at to tap into that.
All right, I mean, OMISANJO, we want to thank you so much, because we need to wrap it up at this moment and give way for other programs on the People's Tele OGTVs. What we most thank you sincerely is Mr. FEMI OMISANJO is the Senior Special Assistant to the State Governor on Energy, and the man that has been keeping night vigil there to ensure that that mandate given by Governor Dapo Abiodun is carried out effectively by having those solar powered street lights across the length and breadth of Ogun State. So we thank you sincerely for being part of the show. And also, not forgetting our man from the organized private sector who always want government to do more and do more, because your businesses must survive, your businesses must keep moving, because you are the one that employ a lot of people out of the unemployment market. So we want to also thank you, Alhaji Abdul Sabur MAKU, for finding time to be with us on the program.
Thank you.
And on behalf of my colleagues and myself, Tunde Shodeke, I want to thank you sincerely for being part of the show. We'll see you next week, Monday, with another set of crew coming up to also discuss more national issues that affect you and I. I remain Tunde Shodeke. Keep fresh in the peace of the Most High. Bye for now.